Marathon teaches me, how I see it, is there's this addiction to that story that I'm not sure if it's delusion, like that this struggle, like it's like it's very subconscious, like, oh, I need to struggle to get out of this, and actually that puts out more difficulty, like it's making things more difficult for ourselves. Do you think that's yeah, I mean that's how I see it, at least. Like
Yes.
delusion.
It's delusion is the right word. It's also the delusion comes in when you say one day I will stop, one day this pain will be over. So there's a lot of delusion of portraying it into the future. So you're doing everything, just everything to avoid the present moment, basically. You're creating a story from the addiction point of view just to get away from it now, just from the present moment. So you'll do whatever it takes to get away, whether that's going and seeking out addiction, whether that's thinking about the addiction, whether that's thinking about pain, whether that's actually thinking future thoughts, present thoughts. It's all just trying to keep you in that loop, basically, of whatever it is. Addiction itself doesn't keep you in the loop. It's actually everything that comes with it that keeps you in that loop.
That
So
makes sense.
what was beneficial for me with some of my addictions was seeing that loop and seeing that the problem is not, for example, for me, weed is a big one. The problem is not smoking so much weed. The problem is what I get after smoking, before I get to smoke, how I look at it. It's the whole story that evolves
Yeah.
around it. And what really comes out of it is that it's just practice again. It's just coming back to that practice and learning to recognize that it's not only you need to practice when you're about to participate in addiction or during addiction, but it's also when you see those thoughts of shame, when you see those thoughts of future telling, as I call it, like in the future I will get rid of it, but for now I need to do this. It's those moments when we need to practice is the most what it seemed to me.
Even for me, I mean, you say it very perfectly, the shame and all that. For me, one of those is also doubt, like doubt if I can get over this, right this, and yeah, that's
Can I
no,
stop
that's
it?
yeah, that's so
Can I stop it? So that also kind of plays into it, because it creates me who has to stop it.
yeah,
That me gets in the way of actually practicing, because you're creating this fictional me that has to control everything, has to do it pitch perfect, has to see through it, has to be perfect in practice, has to be aware, has to be aware of his addictions, has to be aware of all these shameful thoughts. So it also creates that me which wants to get it right.
yeah. No, that's so true. I I have this very perfectionist mindset. Like over here in my practice, I've seen again and again how funny it is. Like when I try to figure something out, like let's say this is really unbearable, like I try to like, oh, is there some Dhamma secret weapon I can see through this delusion? And I always like trying to figure it out. I think this is like the simile of the snake, right? I'm grabbing it by the wrong end, I get bitten. It's always this really trying to figure something out when there's really nothing much to it. It's almost like the ego doesn't like how simple it can be. Do you think that's what's happening? At least for me, it kind of feels that way. Like it's like this struggle, this sense of self.
There's a lot of investment there. There's a lot of investment over the years of being this way. So the simplicity doesn't exist, because there is no other known way. So practice is basically giving you a new pattern. It's giving you a new way of looking at the situation, right? The new way and new sight. Where previously you have this old pattern which is very comfortable. So the struggle comes to defend it. It comes to defend this old pattern because it's very comfortable. It's very cozy. You're tucked in your bed, and it just feels nice. It feels very safe to even struggle, to even doubt yourself, to even feel shameful. It feels very comfortable.
Think.
Through that comfort, what helps me see is to see the actual words I use around the diction and the words I use to tell the story. It's seeing how you form the thought itself. So, for example, if I would have a thing about weed, is I would say, oh, it helps me relax. It's me who needs it. I can immediately imagine myself smoking. I immediately imagine myself feeling the relief. I immediately imagine all these things that make me get to it. So seeing how I tell my story and I convince myself what kind of words I use to talk myself into is also very helpful. It's been primarily the language for me. I think I discussed this a lot with Dhamma, is the language we use with ourselves and catching ourselves, telling ourselves stories about what's happening instead of practicing.
Yeah, that, for me, I realize it's like I realize it's like if I start to feel heavy, it's most likely some words I use that convey this feeling of heaviness. Like it's gonna be difficult, and it's almost like a telltale sign to wake up at that moment and practice. Like you said, just practice and nothing more to it. Actually, I'm curious. Like, how do I personally really like that feeling of like, I think that's what Dhamma say, the winner attitude. Like, well, I can do this. Like, I really find that energy to be so. It's really nice, but at some point, it's also can be a clutch where because I tell myself a story where if I don't feel like this winner attitude, then something's wrong. I don't know, which
Yes.
it's just I'm not
So
sure what I'm trying to convey here. Yeah, go ahead.
probably saying, as far as you might be feeling some emotions that portray opposite of feeling like a winner, right? And then
Yeah.
you try to immediately jump to a winner's attitude, which can work if there's enough space between thoughts, but sometimes there just isn't enough space for you to quickly make that big loop into a winner's attitude. So we have to slowly build up with more positive thoughts of actually inputting like little wins, like little droplets, because a winner's attitude is a congratulations thing. So whenever you drop in a little drop, you congratulate yourself. Because you're like, oh wait, there's shame. Okay, I changed the thought. Well done. So it builds up over time into this big explosive attitude, and then you feel great. But then eventually that attitude dies by itself because it's not being maintained. It's something that is not sustainable, and it's not necessarily, I would say, needed for continuous practice,
I
because
agree.
there's points of where you feel completely peaceful and equanimous with your being, right? So in
Yeah.
those points, you're not really into that winner state. So it's also not getting too attached to that feeling, right? It's like dialing a temperature. You want to get a temperature just right most of the time.
Yeah, I agree. Dhamma often say just enough satisfaction. I think that's the part where, yeah, I'm still working on that. Sometimes it's really hard to appreciate that just enough. I curious about, I was watching one of Thich Nhat Hanh video, where he said, he has a very famous quote where, no mud, no lotus, which I think he's trying to say, I mean, in his own way of looking at it, I guess, it's like if there's no suffering, there's no happiness. I can kind of see what he's trying to say, like it's like a transformation process. I was wondering if I'm pretty sure I have some wrong view on this, but it's like, isn't that it's like a very Christian way of looking at it, right? Like very like making it very heavy. I
Talking about
I yeah,
anatta,
so,
no self view. I think that's what it sounds like to me. That immediately you can jump to this point of view where there is no happiness, there is no sadness. It means there is no self, right? So there is no self that experiences that. There is just the experience. So the only thing that exists is the state as it's happening. But as soon as it goes, where does it go? Is it does it go back to me, or does it go back up in the air? Where does that happiness or where does the sadness go? It doesn't go,
yeah.
and it doesn't really go anywhere. It
Mm,
just comes and goes. So you learn to recognize these waves through your practice, that all your misery, all your sadness do come in waves. Sometimes things happen in life that trigger that. Sometimes
yeah,
it's you who's triggering that. Sometimes
yeah,
it seems like nothing is happening and they get triggered. So it can be very confusing, right? Why does it keep repeating itself? Why does it keep happening? So
mm,
that's where I think he's trying to close the thing, that it just happens by itself sometimes. And that's
uh,
the point of view we're coming to accept, that it is happening. But what can we do about it when it's happening is we can come back to the practice and we can breathe.
uh,
We
mm.
can clear it. We can work with it basically.
Yeah. It's interesting that even when I'm talking about this right now, listening, I'm aware on very aware on some level. I'm intellectualizing. It's my practice here lately has been a bit stale because a lot of difficulty has been happening, and I guess I'm using that as an excuse not to practice as much. But I'm kind of aware of it, like when um
Can you find the difficulty right now in this moment? Right now, as you're sitting here, where is that difficulty?
the difficulty is mostly just projection to the future.
Mhm.
Uh,
What can you do about that now, right now in this moment? Can you take a
mm,
breath? Can you breathe? Does it
yeah,
feel good? Does the breath feel good?
yeah, it feels really great.
Yeah, yeah. That's what we keep coming back to, is to that feeling good of the breath, of bodily sensations. When the difficulty strikes, body seems to be quite useful in bringing us back into it, if we really rely on breath for it. So taking a deep breath, feeling the breath in your belly, feeling your breath coming up all the way up towards top of your head, really inhaling, exhaling, finding that relaxation. Even as the thoughts might be coming back, we can still take that breath, and the breath overtakes the thought, it almost seems like, right?
Yeah.
So who's in control here? The breath.
Oh,
The breath guides you, right? Yeah.
yeah.
So you just keep taking deep breaths, and you feel it more and more in your body. Maybe in your shoulders. Maybe you find some tension in your jaw, and you slowly start releasing it with breath. You breathe into your jaw. Maybe you can feel it in your ears, in your nose, at the top of your head, in your sinuses, really clearing them, really breathing into it and allowing the breath just to be there, allowing the space it creates to really feel that space, feel that good space that it creates.
Yeah.
And you just bring yourself there. Allow yourself to be there. Allow yourself to breathe. Allow yourself to feel good. This is the proof that you can feel good no matter what's happening. This is the proof, as they say in the pudding. You're doing it.
Yeah.
And now you see that you're doing it, you can congratulate yourself because you know how to do this, right? You know how
Yeah.
to breathe. You know how to relax your body. You're a champion in that way. You know how to reach the finish line. You know how to celebrate at the finish line as well by taking more breaths and by feeling them, by allowing the breath to just be there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I was able to aware that's a part of my mind. It's like this
Mm.
problem solving part of me is like, yeah, I see that it's there.
It's there, but where does it go when you take a breath? It disappears. So is it really there if it disappears? Or is it just temporary?
Yeah, you make a good point. It feels if it I know it's transient, but it feels permanent, right? It's crazy.
As, as soon as you forget the breath, and as soon as you take yourself off that roller coaster of feeling good, as soon as you stop taking these deep breaths, it can come back because we still haven't really relaxed the body. So we continue to relax the body more and more, taking more breaths. Everything is okay. Nothing to do, nowhere to be, nothing to solve right now. Other than this breath, there's nothing to solve. And you can see that in this breath, everything dissolves. Absolutely everything dissolves. Your body feels nice and light. Everything just feels kind of smooth, like buttery, like very easy. That's the winner attitude. Everything is easy for you. Even these problems, they're easy to handle because you have the skill set, you have the confidence, and you're proving to yourself that you do have a skill set by doing this over and over and over again. And eventually, it feels so good that the mind starts to stabilize. And these problems, they slowly create gaps, and you can start to see them from like a bit further away and get out of their way. But still maintaining that breath is the necessary tool. So you just keep breathing and relaxing, really allowing the breath to do its work, not resisting it, not going back to the thoughts, but taking another breath, feeling it in expand, feeling it in your belly, feeling it wherever it wants to travel. Wherever there's tension, you can find the tension and start working with that. Relax it with the breath. Breathe into that tension. And you can start feel it vanishing. And you take another breath and you really, really get yourself relaxed. Keep relaxing. Keep relaxing. And as you take these deep breaths, you can start to see that it's very easy. It's very easy actually for you.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
easy to breathe. It's easy to make it all very okay. Very okay right now.
Yeah,
And that's the good feeling. That's the good feeling we ride. We keep riding that good feeling. We tell ourselves we can ride it. We deserve to ride it. That's another important part, is that you deserve to feel good. No
yeah,
matter what's going on in your life, you do deserve to feel good. You deserve to breathe and to fully allow it to make you feel good.
yeah. It's like momentarily, I am not my thoughts. The thoughts not real.
Yes, what's real is the body right now and here. The breath is real. The body is real. The pleasure in the body is very real.
Yeah.
The pleasure in the body is probably more real than anything else. So that's where the joy can really come in, because you start to see that, oh, the body feels really good. Oh, it's actually the only real thing I have is this joy in the body. Everything else kind of fades away to it. As soon as I allow myself to feel this breath and to feel this joy, everything disappears. Everything else just becomes easy to me. There's no problems, nothing to do, nowhere to go, just more breathing and relaxing.
Yeah.
Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just really relaxing yourself into it. Feels really good, doesn't it? Yeah.
Really great. It's
Mm. And
I
you see,
almost
you have it. You have it right now. You have the attitude. You can do this. You can really, really do this. You can sustain it as long as you want. You can breathe and you can remind yourself to breathe by yourself. You can do this. You can relax your body.
yeah.
When the body becomes relaxed, the mind becomes relaxed, surprisingly, right? So you just
Yes.
you just keep working with the body. You just work with the body. Yes.
Wow. It's really forgotten how it feels like.
That's just another story. It's always been there. It never goes anywhere. It's always with you. So that your skill is just growing to remember it. As you take another breath, you remember it. You remember it, and you congratulate yourself that you do remember this. You do know how to do this. You can do this. And you feel really good.
Man, it feels really nice to not think.
Yeah. Everything is very simple, right? As we breathe, everything becomes very joyous and simple, right?
Yes.
And then suddenly there is no more problems. What you thought is a problem is gone. And it might come back, but then you have the skill to make it disappear again. You take another breath and you really feel it. Oh, this one is a really good breath. Whew. Oof. It's nice, isn't it? Yeah. Really feel it in the body is what was the big key for me is allowing it to feel it in your body. And when you feel it in your body this good, how can you not be a winner? You know, this is how winning does feel. It feels that sweat, that dopamine that runs down when you cross the finish line. This is what it is. You're already there. There's nothing to solve, nowhere to go. You're already a winner.
I I mean, I realize maybe thoughts are only worth thinking about only if after a lot of practice it still comes back. I'm not sure. I guess this is still doubt. This is still doubt making a story out of it.
Mm.
But I'm curious if you have any thoughts on
Thoughts?
that.
Well, thoughts are
Well,
gonna come back. As I said, we live in the world where I assume you live in a city, right?
yeah,
So you're constantly surrounded by sirens, noises, birds chirping, mom screaming, people outside talking. You catch little glimpses of conversations. You catch little glimpses of dukkha here, little dukkha there. So thoughts naturally will gravitate towards you. It's something that's just gonna be there. But the question is, do you have an attitude that can handle these thoughts? And the answer is yes. Anytime you take a breath, you really prove to yourself that you can handle it. You have the skill set. You can remember to come out of it. And that's what we're building here. Is we're building on top of this attitude. For me, a good example was I go to this like little shrine and there's a golden Buddha sitting on the lotus. And the way I always seen it is the lotus is something that floats on top of murky waters, right? Like a puddle that below there's like all this dirt. That's the mind,
Yeah.
right? That's the mind, the dirt water, the murky water is the mind. The doubts, the shames, the insecurities. And on top of it is lotus, which is a beautiful flower, which is pretty much breath to me, which is sensations, this beautiful feeling, right? And on top of it sits the Buddha mind, which is needs to be so light, it needs to be almost as light as breath in order to sit on top of this lotus.
Mm. Yeah.
So breath is a really, really important key part of this, that it kind of gets the practice going and it keeps the practice going.
Mm.
And anytime thoughts come back, we use the breath to make them go. We use the breath to not even struggle with them. We just take a breath. We don't even have to struggle with them. We don't even have to think about it. We just take a breath. So anytime there's a thought of shame, of doubt,
Mm.
you breathe in deeply. You allow that breath to be there. And with that breath, you tell yourself that, hey, look, here, right now, it's so simple. Just goes. And it feels really good. And I feel very light. And if it's gonna come back, I'll make it go again and again. And there's no problem in making it go again and again. But what we usually tell ourselves that I don't want them to come back. So now you're telling yourself how you wish it to be instead of just taking a breath. You're trying to solve it instead of just taking a breath. That's what thoughts convince us to do. They play these little tricks on us.
I I want to give out some quick example. I think you kind of already explained it. It's the shame and the doubt, this murky water, but because it's been happening so much, I feel like this is a sticking point for me in my life. I can be like doing something, usually it's work related or whatever, and I got stuck somewhere rather than telling myself, hey, it's okay, we can do this again later on or whatever. There's this very immense sense of shame, guilt, frustration. It really, at that moment, it really feel helpless. I really buy into that story, even after months of practice sometimes. But I think that's where I really have to catch that breath. I think. I mean, I'm just self-reflecting, thinking out loud. I guess that's where I really have to come back to that breath, as unbearable as it may seem like at that moment, but it's not real. I just have to take that breath.
Mm. It's just it's just simple victimization. Like over the time you will tell yourself enough thoughts that you jump back to that victim mentality of like being victimized by your thoughts, being victimized by shame, right? When we can see that the shame is just there, right? If you can see that the shame is there as a feeling, just maybe it's in your chest, maybe it's somewhere in the body, What can you do about it? You can take a breath and you can relax the body. So the shame immediately disappears as you start to relax.
No, yeah, that's true. That's true.
So on top of that, you build out of that victim mentality. You build confidence. You build that you can do this. The confidence is also a skill set. It might seem like sometimes you get on top of your game and you really feel really good, and then you get yourself down. It's because the confidence disappears and you start doubting. Do I really know how to do this? Wait, it doesn't seem to work, right? But
Yeah,
that just happens because those are just more thoughts, and what you're doing is
yeah, more
continuously
thoughts.
playing into them instead of taking another breath.
Yeah. It's like play into the game of Mara, or but yeah, it happens so quick, you know. It's so quick sometimes. Well, it's over here. I think my sati is getting stronger. I can see it.
Mm.
Sometimes sometimes I, but it's okay. It's in the past. But
Can you see another part for me was the comparison? Like sometimes the practice is really good, and then I'll compare it to right now where I'm feeling, wait, the practice is not going so great. Wait,
yep.
and then the doubt comes in. The practice is not going as great as it can be. So the doubt slips in, and you go down the slippery hill pretty much from there. Instead of catching that doubt, catching that breath with the doubt, and being, hey, look, it's just doubt. I'm okay with doubt. I can doubt myself. It's okay. Nothing is happening.
Yeah, I think it kind of reminds me why I had a talk with Mikey a few days ago. And I was talking about I was talking about measuring progress, and then he said, "Don't measure it. There's no progress to be made. It's just right here." And I can see what he's trying to say now, because I'm comparing, and then that's what, like you said, the doubt seeps in. A lot of unwholesome seeps in when comparison is overwhelming. Yeah.
Well, the progress
So,
can be measured simply by feeling like a winner right now. When you feel like a winner right now, that's all the progress you really need.
so true.
Because the
It's
progress
all.
is not there.
Mm,
It's somewhere in the past or in the future. But the feeling of a winner is right here, right now, with this breath. As you breathe, you can feel like you're a winner. So that's all the progress you really need, is right now, right here.
mm, yes. Yes. Yes.
The comparison is just another doubt. It's just more dukkha to throw away.
Mhm.
It's just another breath to take in. That's how I see it. It's just another breath to take in. It's just a more relaxation, more feeling good. At some point, you welcome the doubt. You're like, hey, look, I'm doubting myself. Oh, wait, I can stop. I can take a breath and feel good. And wait, look, now I'm over the doubt, and everything is okay. Everything is okay. And when can I see that this breath and everything is okay? There's no work to be done, nothing to do, no progress to be made. It's just here. I'm really good right now. Everything is good right now.
Yeah.
And ride the wave. Allow yourself to really ride it. Allow yourself to feel really good. Allow it. Just allow it. Don't have to do anything. You just have to take a breath and allow it.
Well, I have a quick question about enduring uncomfortable. Is that a story? Like if I were to say enduring, because I mean right now everything's okay. It's just sometimes when difficult, and I call it difficult because it's just because I say I dislike this, but it's
Would you say you're
sure.
trying to prevent the future difficulties? Would you
Yeah,
say that like that's what you think like you want to get rid of right now is the future difficulties? Like
yeah,
thinking, oh, if I can get rid of them right now, all the future difficulties, all the future thoughts, all the future injuries, all the future situations, would that
yes.
make you feel better about the future?
Everything.
If you can get rid of them right now, would that make you feel better about the future? All the troubles.
I don't know. That's a good question, right?
The thing is, you can't do it right now. You can't make them all go away right now. That's the trick of it, right?
Yeah.
In the
Nah, that's,
future, you're thinking about the future right now. So in the future, something might arise. Okay, that's the confidence. That's the confidence that you're building right here. Is that
it's
in here right now?
it's that feeling of like no need to know, right? Do you think so?
Exactly. Exactly. You don't need to know what's going to happen in the future, Ivan. You don't need to know. You don't need to solve it right now. You don't need to solve the next minute. You just stay here. You just stay here with yourself. Just breathe and stay here, and you allow yourself to relax and have some trust. Have some trust in your skill that if it happens in the future, you'll handle it because you have the skill set. You're a winner. You have a skill set. You're practicing correctly.
Yeah, the model always say the correct practice is no question. I mean, I'm paraphrasing. It's,
Mm.
it's really easy.
Mm. Yeah. Everything is very simple. And if the thoughts of the future come again, that's for the future. That's not for right now. That's for the future practice, whatever that is, if there's a future practice. Right now is this practice right here. Right now is feeling good right now. And allowing yourself to really feel good right now, not needing to solve any future problems, not needing to save the world, basically, not needing even to save yourself. Why do you have to save a future version of yourself that is not even here, right?
Yeah, it's this uncertainty is so delusional. This uncertainty. It's like this very delusion thing of like wanting it to be certain, but that's impossible. There's so much dukkha. But that's the thing. Even if I know that, but yeah, I mean, this is why the practice is so useful because I feel like I can't think myself out of this, right? In my
Yes,
experience,
yes.
in my
You
experience,
can.
you can't. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You can just laugh about it. You can laugh at yourself about trying to solve some future scenarios that you create in your head, right? You can just all this uncertainty, all these old thoughts, basically. Because previously, the structure seemed to work. It led you this far in life, so
Yeah.
it is a good thing that you're able to maintain yourself. You're able to survive. But it's just a
Yeah.
mechanism. It's just a mechanism that is meant to make you eat, poop, and sleep. That's all it
Yeah.
is. So it just wants to know that can you eat, poop, sleep in the future? And I'm pretty sure you can eat, poop, sleep in the future, unless the lighting strikes, and then there's no worrying about eating, pooping, and sleeping, right? So there's no worries there, right?
That's true. Yeah. That's In fact, if I were to add one more thing, is yeah, it got me so far, but at the same time, it made me suffer so much. It's a totally bad. It's like a faulty mechanism that.
Well,
Um,
Ivan, it's not faulty. You see, that's when you start telling yourself that it's a thing of, it's something wrong with me. The fact that I think, the fact that I
yeah,
want to solve the future, something's wrong with me. I should not want to solve it. Well, it's part of your nature to want to solve it. As soon as you
I
can
agree.
see that it's part of your nature, you can start to accept that, hey, this is just me trying to solve the future, and it's okay. I don't need to
Yeah.
solve it right now. This is just that old thought that of me trying to solve it, and that's okay. It's part of me. It's okay. It is there. It's okay for it to be there, right? But I have
I,
breath. I have good skills. I have practice. I have an attitude. I can really deal with it. I've dealt with
mm,
it. I used it. I'm convinced I can do this,
mm.
right? So at that point, this thing doesn't become a problem anymore.
Yeah, that's so true.
Right? You just ride these waves. You just ride the waves out. You just ride them out. You just breathe and then just keep riding them. Enjoy the waves. Eventually, you start to really enjoy the doubts, and you really start to enjoy all these games you play with yourself, right? Even right now, you're laughing. You're laughing at all the stories, right? They become funny, right?
To be fair, I can only laugh when I'm talking with people like you. People that understand. I want to say Dhamma, but just any wholesome people. Because if I'm with myself, it's really hard to laugh because
Mm,
it's like playing chess with yourself. It's
mm.
impossible.
That's usually just not allowing yourself to feel good and to
I
taking
see.
everything very seriously, taking the
Oh yeah,
practice even too seriously, right? You might
so
take the
true.
practice too seriously.
So true. It's this past few days, I'm taking things too seriously, man. Like,
Right? There's no worry here. There's no worry. There's nothing to worry. It's all okay. It's all okay as long as you're breathing, as long as you're just feeling good in your body. It's all okay. It's all okay. And even if you're not talking to anyone, even if you're by yourself, you can laugh at yourself. It's okay to laugh at yourself. It's okay to be a joyous person. That's one of the struggles that confidence goes is whenever we don't allow ourselves to feel good. We say, I shouldn't feel this good. I shouldn't laugh at myself. I should take this more seriously. I should take this practice more seriously. I should ask more questions about it. I should really dive deep into it, right? I should
yeah,
really get to the bottom of this, right? And then in the future, I will never have to ask another question again, right?
yeah, so true.
Right? The doubt is never gonna come back. It's gonna be gone forever,
Yeah,
right?
this is so delusional.
Right?
Yeah,
That's what exactly is happening. And it's just working with that, just relaxing and using the skill set you have. Just using the breath, using the skills, and constantly applying yourself to them. And eventually the joy becomes really big. The joy is really, really good. You allow that joy to overfill you. And that's how you know your cup is full. And with that cup, it becomes easier and easier to maintain it because the cup is full.
the cup is full.
There's nothing to do. You're already there. You're already full. You're full of yourself. You're full of joy. You're full of everything that you need. You got everything you need. Nothing to gain, nowhere to go, nothing to do. It's all okay. It's all really is okay.
Yeah,
Right? And you can do this by yourself. You can do this by yourself. one of the big things is telling yourself, yeah, you can't do this by yourself. It's telling yourself that, hey, I can really snap myself out of it. I can really do this. Developing
Yeah,
that confidence. Developing that confidence.
yeah. I so grateful just now you point out to me this thought of the future. I can see it clearly for a split second just now. It's like as I'm relaxing, and then there's this future thoughts of you have to make sure you take care of this. It's like, wow, I see you. You come so fast.
Yes, I see you, Dukkha. I see you, Mara. Right?
Yeah, not resisting them, right? But just seeing and yeah.
Not seeing them as so serious anymore, because they don't. They as soon as you stop seeing them as such a serious thing, they become easy to dissolve. They become almost less solid. But for them to be less solid, you gotta practice relaxing yourself, and then they become less solid. So they become less of a mental, I don't know, mental object. They become less real, and then the joy allows you to take care of them with laughter, because you can see that you're deluding yourself. You can see all these worries are really not here. They're really just old way of thinking, old way of needing to survive. It's an old survival mechanism, which is good, which is useful. You don't push it, don't push it away. It's good that you have this mechanism. You're grateful for it. It keeps you alive, basically. It keeps you eating, pooping, and sleeping. But it doesn't need to solve. But you don't need to allow it to solve anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to do the job. You know, you can let it rest. You can let the child rest, basically. Let the child rest. Allow the child to be joyful. Allow yourself some joy. Allow yourself to feel the joy. Really allow to feel yourself with the joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for simplifying for me. Feel like, yeah, I feel like I got the.
You can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you can do this. Yeah. It's all very
So,
simple.
yeah, it is. It's so simple.
Yes. It's just breathing. It's just breathing. It's just breathing. And at moments when it doesn't seem like it's breathing, it's just more breathing and more practicing. And more practicing can seem like such a daunting thing, but when practice is this enjoyable, is it really that daunting? When practice when practice feels this good, that's the fruit. That's the immediate fruit that the Buddha talks about, right? When the practice feels this good, it becomes easy to practice. It's a joy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a game. It's a game. For me, the biggest see-through is that it's just a game. It's just a game. It's a game you can play. It's a fun game of catching things, letting them go, of laughing at yourself, of taking it all so serious and then laughing again. It's just like a little roller coaster, you know, you go up and down, and then you're like, wee, and then you're like, I'm gonna die, wee, you know, it's just going through that roller coaster and really enjoying it, really learning to enjoy yourself. Allowing the joy is a big one, because we're really not taught to allow ourselves to be joyful, especially in the city.
It's almost like even in terrible times, we can allow the joy, right? Like even
Exactly.
the more difficult sadness, I don't know, regret. It's still, yeah. Because I was listening to Tina Han. He was talking about like the trees, like moving very violently because of the wind, but at the bottom of the tree is very stable. It's the mind is like that. It's spinning, but if you lower your attention down, it's like it's kind of cool place. The Dhamma don't say it's like an elevator going down. I think that's what he was saying. I'm not sure. I guess what I say this is because even, yeah, it's interesting.
Well, you just did it right now. You had difficult thoughts where you presumed difficult, but you were still here. You're still surviving. You're still breathing. You're still feeling good. That's your stability. That's your base. The breath is your base. You can really do this. And there's no delusion here of telling yourself that everything's okay, everything's good. It's just really enjoying whatever is going, because the breath in the body is still here, and as long as it's still here, that's all you need. And just really relying on that, really giving the trust to the breath, giving trust to the practice, giving trust to the joy, trusting, really trusting that this is it. This practice is it. This is the fruit. This is the confidence that you're looking for. Nothing can stop you. No little wind, no little breeze, no little thought of the future can stop you. Right? Nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you from practicing. Yeah, they will come. Okay, I'll deal with them then. But now I'm feeling really great. I'm feeling good. Everything's okay.
Yeah. Even, the dog car, I can just like have fun with it. Like I just, okay, I see you. It's kind of weird. Kind of weird you're still here.
Yeah. Learn to enjoy it. Learn to enjoy the practice. Learn to find joy in it. I think it's a good key point you just made. Is learning to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to enjoy the practice, basically. Because it does seem like work when we're not enjoying it.
Oh yeah, so true. Right? I have been working so hard lately. I mean, I don't say that.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Working so hard lately, right?
Making things difficult. All habits. You always start with the feelings, like not knowing how to handle them, and it spirals from there. Yeah.
Finding that right effort, because working too hard, you might be working, but the effort is not on the balance. You're not finding the right temperature. It's not the right effort. The right effort is when there's joy. There's that joy indicates that the practice is moving itself. You're allowing the breath to really build up the joy in your body, and then you're riding the joy. You're allowing the joy to overfill you. You're not resisting and saying, oh, what if in the future this? No, the joy is here right now with you. You can really enjoy it right now, and really enjoy the wave. You're surfing that joy. Just allow it to surf. And that's the first jhana. That's the first jhana that you're learning to surf, man. Allowing yourself to really feel that joy and really being good at surfing it is what builds that confidence. Once you really get good at riding this wave, it's smooth sailing. Smooth sailing. But you deserve to feel joyful. That's the thing, and it's all okay. Whatever the child wants, whatever those old survival thoughts are, it's okay. You can handle them. It's okay. They're necessary. It's okay. They have to be there. They were needed. They were needed to keep you alive, to keep you safe, to keep you eating, pooping, and sleeping. It's okay. It's okay. It's all good.
Yeah, one last thing is just I've been having a lot of aversion, but keep reminding like this is okay, that is okay. It's really just cools down everything,
Aversion comes in again once it becomes hard work. It's like, I don't want to practice, so I'm gonna do everything not to practice. I'm gonna look up the videos. I'm gonna ask questions. I'm gonna do this, anything just not to practice, because there's no joy. So it's dry practice. It's what all those meditators do and sit around with the crossed leg. That's what aversion pretty much is that dryness. There's no joy there, and if there's no joy, it just doesn't it doesn't work. It does not do the job. The joy might come in once you allow yourself to really sit there and quiet for 2 hours, and then aversion just naturally disappears by itself because it gets bored of it. It gets bored of thinking those thoughts. So it just goes somewhere else, right? The thoughts go up thinking about mom's cooking or a girlfriend or something like that, right? So aversion just disappears into something more pleasurable. And then you feel joy out of sudden. And you're like, hey, oh, wow, this meditation really did work, right? That's what like all those hours are spent meditating. Is just really just getting bored with dukkha. You get bored of dukkha and you're like, fuck, okay, now I'm gonna think about something else.
Yeah, so there's too much effort, and yeah, that's so true. I remember one of the video. You mentioned you went to Thailand to you went there to practice.
I went to the Dipabhavan retreat and I went to see the Marato. But the retreat I found very beneficial because I went in with correct practice. I went in with already knowing what I know. So I was having just a free holiday. I was looking forward every meal. The meals were great. Even sitting doing nothing was great. I'm in a tropical island, sitting around doing nothing. It was great. I really did enjoy it. But that's because the practice. It's not the environment. It's not the teachers. Nobody's gonna do this for you. It's your practice. Nobody can save your ass. It's your practice. It's your confidence. It's you who takes responsibility for it. It's your joy.
Yeah, I really appreciate you saying it. Some people don't like it, but it's because what you just said kind of it's like I catch myself just this subconscious idea that someone's gonna save me. It's still there, right? It's so sticky, It's like it's so sticky.
It's there when the joy is not there. It's there when the joy is there. You know that the joy is already saving you. The joy is almost the juice that keeps everything going. It's just constantly dialing into that joy. It's finding that right effort. It's finding that right confidence, the right amount of confidence, the right amount of breath, the right amount of easiness in the body. It's just finding it and dialing it in, and then constantly reminding yourself that it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to feel joyful. It's okay to be happy. Even if there's somebody saying that blah 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 this blah blah blah, it's okay to feel joyful and maintain the joyfulness. You don't have to smile in their face, but you can still maintain the joy inside your body. You can use the breath and maintain it. You can be like, oh, they're just talking. Oh, okay, I'm gonna take a couple breaths while they're talking, right? Right. That's all it is. That's all that's happening, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's so simple. Yeah. Man, I'm so grateful how simple this practice is.
Yeah. It's really joyful. It's really good. It's really the drug. It's really the drug for me is the practice.
So yeah, but seriously, this is one last question: is you start with the gladdening of the mind first, or do you start with the breath first, or I don't know?
That's for you, Ivan, to find in the moment. So a moment might require a different skill, right? So you're developing a skill set and you're dialing it yourself. This is one of those things that you find yourself, right? So right now you're finding that the breath, finding that you need to relax the body. So whenever the mind is heavy, you know that the first thing you should be the first thing you do is you take breaths, because you want to relax the body. You want to move out of the fear response, which is the usual response is just thinking about it. Right.
Yeah.
So starts with the breath, and from there, your skill set, you already have it. You know what to do. Just get yourself into a joyful state, and then you maintain it. And then maybe if it disappears, you come back to it. You use the breath again, and you find the joy again, and you feel joyful, and you smile, and you allowed. You just it's like surfing, or it's like riding a skateboard. It's like riding a bicycle. It's that balance, right? It's that balance that you constantly maintain, right? But eventually, that balance becomes easy. It becomes not something that you think about. It's not something that you have to put too much effort in. It's just there. You can jump to it with a singular breath, right? Like right now, right? The joy is there. There you go. The balance is there. It's all there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm
just
so appreciate you. Yeah.
feel grateful
So
for yourself, Ivan. Feel grateful for your practice. Feel grateful for your body. Feel grateful for your breath, right? It's good. It's good. Everything's okay. You can do
it is.
this. Right? We all can do this. It's very simple.
I'm not sure why I'm laughing. It was really so
Just try.
miserable.
It's just allow yourself to laugh. That's good. That's good. That's just joy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing to suppress here, right? When we're joyful, we find guilt. Oh, I shouldn't be feeling joyful for no reason. Who says so? Right?
Yeah, that's so true.
Right.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Karl. Thank you so much.
Ivan. Nice chatting with you, Ivan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
talk to you next time.
Just keep breathing and have a nice rest. Have a good evening. Take care.
Yeah.
Is it evening? Is it morning for you?
It's 4 a.m. here.
4 a.m. Okay.
I usually don't sleep this late, but it's weekend, so yeah, it's all right. Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Take it easy then. Yeah.
See you.
Talk to you soon. Yeah. Bye, Ivan.
See you soon. Bye bye,
Enjoy
Karl.
yourself.